Alright, Google Pixel 2 versus iPhone 8 honest review. Stand by for a fanboy free look at both of these devices. Which one I think is better. And to tell you right now that the iPhone is better. No, I'm kidding. The Pixel's better. No, actually, they're both about the same. Anyway, jumping in, we're going to talk mostly about the overall differences between these devices. I'm not going to get too in-depth. I'm going to keep the video short. I'm going to keep it to people who may be considering both of these phones and they want a professional reviewer's opinion of both. Somebody that's been around technology for a long time. Somebody that's been using phones for a long time. And honestly, it comes down to whether or not you like Apple or whether or not you like Google. I mean, for me, the biggest deciding factor, and this is I'm just gonna start the video by ending my comments right now. The biggest thing it really comes down to is the Google app sort of customization, the app selection, being able to choose default apps is what sells me on the Google ecosystem more than the Apple ecosystem. What I mean primarily about that is, if you're not familiar, Apple will not let you choose a default application. You're allowed to now remove Apple applications like Maps, right? So you can go in there, you can remove Apple Maps, which is terrible. Did I mention that it's terrible? Have I told you that Apple Maps is terrible? It's terrible. You can do things like remove Apple Maps, but if you have a link to a map, or if you plug this thing into an Apple CarPlay system and then try and navigate, it will not use the other mapping software that you have on the device. For example, we have Google Maps on this iPhone. So when I plug this into my Apple CarPlay device, or my CarPlay stereo in my car, I can't navigate if I remove Apple Maps, which to me is ridiculous and absurd. But that's what happens. And then when I try and use Siri, everything goes to shit. And pardon my French, but it's true. And I'll show you exactly what I mean by that, right? So if I go here and I launch Siri, I do this, and I say navigate. Let's try this again. Navigate to Robert's Oxygen.
Where do you want to go? I don't have an address for Robert Wright.
Navigate to Robert's Oxygen.
I'd like to add one.
No.
Got it. I found some choices.
Navigate to Robert's Oxygen.
All right, Robert's Oxygen.
Navigate to Robert's Oxygen.
Which Robert's Oxygen? Robert's Oxygen may be closed today.
Thank you, Google. Thank you for being completely better than iPhone. And people on here might be saying, oh, well, this is one example. Like, that doesn't happen all the time. You know, blah, blah, blah. Well, let me show you another thing. Let me show you another quick example. Navigate to the transfer station.
Which transfer station? All right, tap the one you want. Transfer station. Let's go.
No results.
Head southeast on Morningside Street.
The transfer station that is local.
Then turn left onto Mosby Street.
Anyway, you get the idea. This crap happens all the time with Siri. All the time. Like, and the fact that it's built into the OS and you can't change it, that's what causes me to use a Google Pixel more than anything. Otherwise, I love the build of the iPhone 8. I love the fact that they put the glass back on the back design. I love the fact that it has an awesome camera. I love that it's waterproof. I love the accessories. I love the ecosystem. I love everything else about the iPhone and Apple in terms of its hardware, its software, how seamlessly everything is integrated. But I can't stand the fact that some of their software is garbage and some of their software doesn't work, and the fact that you cannot change default applications in their iPhones. It's ridiculous. Come on. I'm gonna get off my soapbox and talk about other things that are different between the phones. Bezels, well actually that's the same. They all have bezels, big bezels too. Big bezel at the top, big bezel at the bottom. They all have both have excellent cameras. The Pixel camera is a little bit, it's almost the same, maybe about in terms of how far it sticks out on the back. Maybe the iPhone sticks out just a little bit further, but they're really close. Touch ID, or we'll call it fingerprint scanners, on the back of the Pixel, still built into the home button here on the iPhone 8. Quality-wise, they feel really, really close. Weight-wise, they feel really, really close. Screen size is going to be a little bit bigger on the Pixel 2. iPhone 8 still rings in at 4.7. Pixel 2 is going to be 5 and change, 5.2 maybe. But the other thing that is similar too about them is they both are missing headphone jacks. No headphone jack on both of these phones. They all have water resistance. The iPhone can be submerged, I believe. It has a spec that will allow it to submerge. Google does not let you submerge it. Google says that you're only allowed to get it splashed on, which is different than the iPhone. So that's kind of a bummer. If you like to take your phone camping or whatever, you may want a waterproof case for the Pixel 2. Otherwise, these phones are remarkably similar. They feel the same. They look kind of similar, especially in their color scheme. They kind of have the same weight. They kind of have the same body. They're sleek, they're trim, they're slim, they're really, really close. Obviously Android and iOS is totally different, but if you're trying to decide between these two phones, and price obviously isn't an issue, they're both about the same price, between like $600 and $800 depending on what model you get with what levels of storage. Nice thing to think about with the Pixel is 2 years of hardware coverage on this versus 1 year on Apple. They come compatible with any carrier. This guy, and both this guy, they're unlocked, so if you buy this from Apple, if you buy this from Google, you get them unlocked, use them anywhere. The Pixel does include Google Phi Compatibility, which is really awesome. If you've never heard of that before, check it out. Works on all around the country on 3 different networks, Sprint, T-Mobile, and US Cellular, which is pretty cool. Otherwise, honestly, guys, I'm really torn between the two of these. I really like to use an iPhone occasionally, and I find myself switching between these two devices every now and then. I do tend to carry the Pixel 2 in my pocket more often than the iPhone, primarily because, like I said in the beginning of the video, I hate Siri, I hate Apple Maps, and I hate that they force me to use their software and that I can't deviate from that. So if you're interested in a phone that's customizable, in a phone that is configurable, in a phone that is rock solid, and doesn't have the limitations of an iPhone, check out the Pixel 2. But keep in mind that your accessory support, your sort of third-party application and third-party, maybe not application so much, but definitely third-party accessories and add-ons and features are going to be limited for the Pixel, whereas the Apple iPhone will have essentially limitless accessories and hardware things that are fun to play around with. But popularity is growing for the Pixel. I think people are starting to catch on that Google's making an awesome phone and that their products are really sharp and really well built and really well designed. So hope you guys enjoyed this honest review of the Apple iPhone 8 and the Google Pixel 2. Don't forget to check out everything else on YouTube. Rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks.